When I was in my 20s, one of my biggest fears was getting older. Like the big 40 looked like doom and gloom, and I felt like I had so little time to get my life in order before that dreaded number. But as I've gotten older, I realized that I was so wrong. And if 23-year-old me knew what I now know at 43, she would be so excited about what's coming. Getting older has been the best thing to happen for me. And in this video, we're going to talk about why you don't need to be afraid of the clock. Welcome back, my friends, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Christy, and I make content centered around realizing no matter where we are in life, no matter our age, we are just on time to live the life of our dreams. And right now, we are in the middle of our Show Up Summer 60, where we are working to become our best selves by summer. So if you have not joined that yet, it is okay. You can just jump right on in. But today I wanted to take a moment to talk about the fear of getting older, doing life at a higher age, turning big round numbers that look like, oh my goodness, I should have my life together, but I so don't have my life together. Maybe you're feeling like, I'm getting older. Am I ever going to get to my dreams? Maybe you're afraid of turning 30, or you're afraid of turning 40 or 50 or whatever. And you're just wondering, do I still have time? This is for you. I was always a late bloomer. And by my 20s, I felt like I had not accomplished anything noteworthy. And yes, I had gone to college and I finished that up when I was supposed to, but I saw other 20-year-olds who were getting married and starting families and becoming millionaires and traveling the world. And I was looking at my life and I was barely making ends meet. Marriage was nowhere in sight. Traveling seemed like a pipe dream, and I just felt like such a loser running out of time. I remember that when I turned 30, my coworker came up to me and she asked me, she said,
"Oh my goodness, are you so excited to turn 30?
And I just immediately bawled and I had to go to the bathroom. I had a full-on moment because I was like, no, I'm not excited to turn 30. I haven't done anything with my life. Like, no. I think the biggest thing is to just know and believe that you are just on time to live the life of your dreams. I say this a lot, and I say this in every single video because it's true. Now, don't get me wrong. Time is a real thing and we don't want to waste it. But so often we limit that for ourselves based off of what we see, based off of social media, based off of what society tells us we should have accomplished by a certain age. And that's really just a lie. We let these external forces dictate how much time we have to enjoy our lives. And then when we don't meet a certain set of criteria by then we give up on ourselves, we give up on our dreams and the things that we can do. And a lot of that is rooted in a couple of different things. First, our life expectancy. Back in the 1950s, life expectancy was about 46 years old. And then even before that, hundreds of years before that, it was even shorter. And so people had this pressure to accomplish a lot in a very short amount of time. By the time you were 20, you needed to be married and have children. You needed to start making your mark on life, and you needed to do things because it did feel like time was running out. And then a lot of that bled into the social influences and what we saw happening on the big screen, what we saw happening on magazines, what we even now still see in social media is this celebration of youth and getting things done by way early in age. And so it's natural to feel like we're too late. We have all heard the stories of people who are in their 20s and in their teens even, who are millionaires and who are doing all of these great big things. And we look at our lives and we're like, I ain't doing any of that. But just because you have not done it by a particular age doesn't mean that you can't. What we often don't see and celebrate is the fact that there are so many people and just as many stories of people making great accomplishments even after 30. And you know what? Even after 40, even after 50. Are you 90? Babe, you still got time to kill it. As humans, we are actually living a lot longer than what it used to be. And so that pressure to get everything done by 20-something is no longer there. However, we still put that on ourselves because we're comparing ourselves to these outliers. There are plenty of stories of people who have gotten into acting, gotten into some type of sport, who have gotten married, who have had babies, who have traveled the world, gotten in the best shape of their lives, who've gone back to school, who have done all of these things. And seeing that was one of the biggest things that helped me to realize that good things can still happen after 30. Like I said, I was a late bloomer, and I can remember even being a child, I was like, I want to get married at 20 years old. I was going to be a young bride. That was my destined future, but I didn't get my first boyfriend until I was 18. And so marriage was nowhere in sight. And then as I got into my 20s, I always used to be so afraid because I had this pressure on myself that I placed on myself to perform these great feats. And I felt like I'm not performing any great feats. I'm not doing any great things, but I was doing great things. They just weren't the things that were being celebrated. Because of all of these external factors, I tricked myself into believing that I was wasting time. But now that I'm in my 40s, I see that the moves that I was making in my 20s were very strategic, and that God really needed me and allowed me to go through those things so that I could become the woman that I am today. I needed those experiences, and I did not give myself credit for the fact that I wasn't actually wasting time. I graduated college. I had a career. I was helping to take care of my parents as they were sick and dying. I helped to take care of my siblings, and that was most of what my 20s was about, but it was never good enough because I hadn't made it. My 30s was my rebirth, and not just my 30s, like my late 30s, because I had made a leap of faith for myself in an area. And if you have not seen that video, I will link it for you. But I made a leap of faith for myself, and it really just started to change things for me. But the change happened because I was now in a space where I could dream again and could start to make some additional moves for my life. Now I am living my dream life, and I don't feel like I missed out at all. Like I would never go back to my 20s, not only because it was a rough time, but also because I love the woman that I am now. And at 43, I know that it's only going to get better from here. I'm no longer limiting my story or my mindset by my age because I realize that there's time. But like I said, we don't want to waste time, whether we're 18 or 98. We never know what the next day holds. So how do we maximize the time that we have and where we are? First, take care of yourself. The physical signs of aging that a lot of people fear can many times be reduced or prevented by just taking care of ourselves. I had a few people mention that they can't believe I'm 43, and thank you. I really appreciate it. But yes, I am 43. Well, what I feel is more complimentary about that is the fact that I am aging the way I want to. I'm not afraid of getting older. I'm living my life. I'm enjoying my life, but I'm doing it in a healthy way because it is so important that we take care of ourselves and that we honor the bodies and the lives that we have. Eat well, work out, hydrate, rest, spend time with the people that you love. Do things that bring your life value and purpose. Get close to God, pray, meditate. As a Christian, it's really important for me to spend time with other believers and to make sure that I'm constantly prioritizing this holistic sense of health and balance. Body, mind, spirit, every single part of it. A lot of things that are presented to us can be harsh on us physically, harsh on us mentally, harsh on us emotionally. So we have to protect our space. We have to be cautious about what we allow into our lives and really just take care of ourselves as a whole. Physically, we will see ourselves being healthier and more energetic, and yes, even youthful, and we'll have less physical signs of stress when we do that. If you're waiting for the perfect time, stop. The time is now. Start now. Whatever it is that you are waiting to do because you feel like I need to get to this point, I need to do this, I need to do that. Do not wait on it. Don't make excuses for why you can't go after the thing that is your dream. The longer we take to do a thing, the longer it takes to get there. So start now. And maybe you can't do it fully, but you have to start putting some steps in place toward whatever your dream is. So for example, if your dream is to travel, make sure that you're saving a little bit of money aside. If that's only like $5 a week, saving that toward your travel budget, and then start looking up, where can I go? Looking up flights, looking up different destinations, and start dreaming about that. If we fill up our minds with the things that we want to do and we make a step of faith in that direction, we start to see where those things are possible. But as long as we are not doing anything in that direction, then we're never going to see it. It's always going to be closed off to us. So start making steps in that direction, no matter how small they might be. If you want to start a business, start looking that up. Start thinking about your branding. Start thinking about your business name. Start thinking about how you're going to be different from your competitors or the other people who are out there doing that same thing. Just start thinking about it. Start planning for it, but don't stay stuck in the planning mode. Do something about that. Look up, what does it take to get the license for your business? Look up, what does it take to get the domain for your website? Whatever you want to do, start making steps in that direction. Because again, The longer you wait, the longer it's going to take to get there. And then finally, embrace where you are. No matter what age you are, there are lessons that you have learned, there are things that you have been through, and you can use those experiences to help push you forward. We can't look at our past or our experiences or the things that have slowed us down as things that disqualify us from getting to where it is that we want to go, but we look at it as something that this is part of my journey, this is part of my story. How am I now going to use this to take the next step into my future? So here's a quick exercise. I'm gonna need you to say it with me. I am just on time to live the life of my dreams. Let's do it again. I am just on time to live the life of my dreams. Say it until you believe it, because you are. No matter what age you are, you can still go back to school, get married, have kids. Maybe not the traditional way, but you can still do it. Change careers, travel the world, become a YouTuber, get your dream body, fill in a blank. You are still young enough to do it, but that power lies in you. We only get too old to live our dreams and to enjoy our life when we decide that we're too old. So don't make that decision. And don't give me any lip about how you got XYZ going on. I said what I said. You are still young enough to enjoy your life. So go out there and do it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're not subscribed, like, what are you doing? I'm gonna need you to jump on that. All right, my loves, I love you, and I'll see you in my next. Bye for now.